All right, everyone. How's everyone doing out there? It's been a while, hasn't it, since Goldpills made a video? Well, there's been good reason for that, and I've been wanting to do this update video for quite a while now. Just haven't managed to do it with all the IRL responsibilities, people have. But I see I gained a couple more subscribers since last time. I think maybe five or so. So that's cool. Um, so I really, really don't have that big of a audience base, but this is just an update video to kind of explain what was going on there and where this channel might be going. But there was a good reason why I've been out. I seen my last video was beginning of October, I think October 2nd, because I wasn't even sure where I left off at or what I might have said previously, but I kind of stopped right at the beginning. If anyone watched my couple most recent videos, you probably noticed I had a cough, and I might even have mentioned I started coughing up some blood. Uh, I ended up coughing up some blood the one day, and it seemed pretty bad to me, so I went to my PCP, told him it was some physician assistant that I don't care for. He really doesn't seem to know anything, and she immediately gave me the worst case scenarios. Oh, it could either be a blood clot or cancer. You need to go straight to the emergency room. And that was the end of our visit. So I agreed to go to the ER and went to the ER and told them what was going on. They did an X-ray, and then they're like, "Well, we need to do a CAT scan for better thingy," and did a CAT scan, and the doctor came in. And he goes, "Well, you got very bad pneumonia. But there's also some other stuff going on in there. Your image is so bad that the reoccurring theme here is my CT image of my lungs were so bad that a lot of doctors have never seen one this bad before. So the ER doctor he got bad pneumonia, but there might be a secondary thing going on. He said, I don't want to say the C word, but it might be cancer." So he gave me about the, worst case prognosis. Had me scared and contemplating mortality there with, oh, I have cancer already, and I'm relatively young. So, um, the pneumonia, I had really, really bad pneumonia. And I believe I had it for a very long time. I'm sure I told in my previous videos, I would get an upper respiratory infection practically every 5, 6 months. And I'd fight it for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes three. And even on a couple occasions, I thought it was the C19 I had. Well, no, I'd always wonder, well, why do I get another one 5 months from now? 5 months from now, constantly sick. It was like that since the beginning of C19 until the last October there. And I believe it's because I had pneumonia the entire time, and we never knew. I would get, really feel the effects of it, but then I'd get better and feel fine in between. And then it would flare up, and it probably went on for a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. I might have had underlying pneumonia. And it wasn't until I started coughing up blood that, you know, they actually did the scans necessary and see it. So the ER doctor gave me a script of whatever high antibiotics for a week. I went home and took them. He referred me to a lung doctor, I guess CPG, pulmonologist or whatever. So I went and seen him after and did another CT scan, and it was still bad. I had masses. There were masses in there. He wanted to do a bronchoscopy then to actually go down in there and look because, like I said, the CT scan was so bad. They knew pneumonia, but since it was so bad, they didn't know what to make of, everything else. So as I had an appointment to go in, he, stuck camera down there, looked in, took some samples of stuff. And when I woke up from the light anesthesia, them doing the scopy thingy, uh, I was still a little loopy, and doctors here, you need to stay in the hospital. He's like, your pneumonia is so bad that you need to stay here and get the IV antibiotics because the over-the-counter pill ones, they're not as potent and, not the same effectiveness as IV. He's like, you need to stay here for like a week, pretty much. And at first I was like, no, I can't do that. I got twin toddlers to take care of, responsibilities. I can't do that. And luckily, my mom was there with me and contacted my wife and my other mother-in-law, and they all agreed that my responsibilities could be delegated to others, and I should stay. So I agreed and checked into the hospital on that Monday. It was very early Monday morning when we did that, so I stayed there Monday, and I was there till Saturday. And I got IV antibiotics every day. So I had 6 days of treatment. And then I was supposed to go home with a week or two of take-home antibiotics. Well, the day before I was set to leave, the idiot hospital pulmonologist came in, and I'm like, what's my script? He's like, oh, you're not getting anything. I was like, well, you've been telling me I'm getting antibiotics to go home. He goes, no, these are standard treatment for pneumonia is only 5 days antibiotics. 7 days if you were on a respirator or something. He's like, so you're good. You're past the number of days. So right there shows you that how crappy the medical practice is, where they have guidelines and number of days to treat stuff, and that's what they go by. They don't go by doctor opinion or expertise or whatever. He's like, oh, you had them 5 days, you're good. Doesn't matter, it's the worst pneumonia we ever seen. Doesn't matter, we never seen a CT scan of your lungs with pneumonia like this before. 5 days, you're golden. Go home. So I went home, no antibiotics. Somehow my pulmonologist doctor, not the hospital scrub, a good one that I got referred to, somehow that missed him. He didn't realize I didn't have antibiotics. So a week or two goes by. I go get another CT scan to see what my lungs are looking like. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good because, stuff's finally healing. So we go get the scan, and it wasn't even an hour after the CT scan, I get another call. You need to go back to the emergency room. This is my primary care calling me because the CT scan people just called them first. So my primary care is like, you need to go back to the hospital emergency room. They're like, you have an infection in your pleural area, which is outside of your lungs, like in between your heart and all the stuff in there. He's like, you got to go get it drained, immediately. And this was like Friday afternoon after business hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to the ER after business hours on a Friday so I can sit in there till Monday and someone do it. So I just waited till Monday, called my main pulmonologist, talked with him, and we set up an actual appointment to go there. And yeah, I had to go in, and they did an ultrasound around my ribs. They seen, it said it was a small amount of fluid. Well, once they started doing the ultrasound, they seen the fluid was thicker than normal fluid, which means it's infected. It was like a thick, bloody pus type. Well, what they did was they stuck a tube in through my ribs under my armpit. Long needle, stick it in there, pull it out, have the tube, and they attempted to drain it. And since it was, thick and infected, they were only able to get about 3 ounces out of it. And there was still a little bit more in there. And so I went home and talked to the pulmonologist, and that's when he asked me, didn't you get antibiotics when you left the hospital? I'm like, no, they told me I didn't need them. Well, you should have been on antibiotics for another 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, that's why I ended up with that infection. So he gave me 2 weeks antibiotics. And he's like, you need to start taking them immediately, If this infection gets worse, you'll go septic. So I started taking them immediately. And he scheduled another CT scan for like 10 days later, even though that was before the 2 weeks of the antibiotics, because he didn't want to wait and have it get worse. So I took my antibiotics kind of double dose. So I'd finish them quicker and have them done by the new CT scan. And got the new CT scan, and luckily the infection was going away and was about gone, and he felt it would take care of itself, because the next step was to do the tube through my ribs, a bigger tube, to suck the rest out. Or if that didn't work, the what do they call it, pleurathoracic surgery, and actually go in there and clean the stuff out surgically. I didn't want to do any of those, so luckily that went away. But then the pulmonologist doctor, he ordered a whole battery of tests for me, just to see it, just to check everything, because of how bad this pneumonia was. I did echocardiogram, walking test, breathing test, swallowing test to see if it's going, down my windpipe. A couple other tests. He did like 20 some blood works. Well, I still have to do the lower swallowing test to see if it's coming back up from my stomach to my lungs. And everything there was pretty good. The one thing is, when we did an echocardiogram, they ultrasounded my heart. Well, here they discovered I have a hole in my heart. Well, it's something you have at birth, and it usually closes, but some people it doesn't close. Well, my hole never closed. So I have a hole in my heart, and one of my valves is slightly leaky. And it may or may not be related to the hole in the heart. And one side is very slightly larger than the other, and that's because of the hole in the heart causing pressure differences. So then I got referred to a cardiologist now. So now I have a personal lung doctor, and now I have personal heart doctor. And the cardiologist wants me to do 2 tests to see whether I actually need any treatment to close the hole in my heart. He wants to stick a sonogram or some imaging thing down my throat so he can see my heart, because your esophagus goes right down behind your heart. So stick an imaging device down there. You can see the heart real good. He'll be able to see the whole, a whole lot better. Any of the valves, he'll be able to see what's going on. And then the other test was to do the heart catheterization, which is go up through a vein or something and actually, go up into your heart and I guess take pressure readings of what's going on in there. And I guess those two tests then will be able to see whether I need to address the issue of the hole in the heart or not. Other than that, he said my heart looked good, looked strong, functioning good. I just have the birth defect that it never closed. And I've never had an issue with physical exertion, running, being winded, nothing. So he was kind of leaning towards I might not need to do anything about it, just keep on living like that. But bottom line is, good thing I quit smoking. It's been a year now. Can't smoke again. Shouldn't even smoke vape cards, which I pretty much have quit that since the pneumonia. I take the edibles now, the gummies. Lungs are doing a lot better. I barely, I don't cough up really anything now. I hardly cough at all. Uh, can't believe I had pneumonia that long. And it got, like I said, it got so bad that when I would cough up blood, it was like an active bleed, like fresh red blood for like a minute until it would clot and then it would stop. And so I actually just got a call from the insurance yesterday. I needed prior authorization for another CT scan on my chest, and they approved it. So sometime here in the near future, I'll be getting another CT scan to see, how much my lungs have healed and what they look like now after this whole ordeal. So, what a clusterfuck. And the stupid C-19 ruining the medical industry is one of the reasons why, I really didn't push the matter, medically speaking, when I would get these upper respiratory infections. A few of the times I just assumed it was, C-19. And the other times I knew the doctors weren't going to do anything for me. So I didn't even bother going in there. Because in the beginning, I would go to the doctor, and they would just go, oh, it's upper respiratory, Tylenol, and stay hydrated. And, it'd go away. And that's what I would do, and it would go away. And I'd be fine and healthy and active, normal functioning for 5 months, 4 months sometimes, 6 months sometimes. And then I'd get it back. And then I'd get over it and be fine and do the same. And I went on for like 2 years, until you start coughing up blood. So, ugh. And the whole time I was recovering there and everything, I had no will to make videos or, it takes all I have to freaking parent and raise, two twin toddlers. Yeah. So that's been my update. And luckily, during that time, I didn't have too many mystery, I forgot what, it's mystery boxes or magical boxes. I think mystery boxes. Where I was been talking a little bit about, learning how to work on your own things. And I was telling about working on my car. I didn't have really any issues while I was sick that I needed to take care of. But when I was on the mend, um, my repair of the rear calipers and brakes and everything, I ended up having my back brakes grinding. Went out and looked, and my one pad was completely gone. They were only on there for 6 months, brand new. Well, when I did the calipers, I cheaped out and I didn't get new rotors. I used the old ones. I didn't think the rust on it was bad enough to replace them. I figure they would wear off, clean up after. Well, three of the rotor surfaces, three pads, they did clean up, but the one was just too much, and it ground the brake pad down to nothing. So they were warranted AutoZone. They give you a new pair if you ever wear them like that. So I took them back, got a free new set. I got some new rotors and threw new rotors on, did that. And while I was in there, the one shock absorber was shot on the driver's side. So I got two new shock absorbers and installed those when I did the brake pads. And if your shock absorber ever goes out in the back, you will feel it because your ass end will bounce off of the road every bump you hit. You hit a bump, your ass end will bounce off the ground, and it's annoying. And if you live in a snow-covered, icy road area, it's dangerous because when it bounces up off like that, your ass end loses traction on the road. And you could slide, wreck, whatever. So, luckily, because I needed that shock absorber replaced, and I was kind of holding off, and then the brake pad issue came up. And luckily, it was right at a nice semi-warm spell when it happened here through the winter. I was able to just knock both out quick. And then coming in here at the beginning of spring, the timing chain on the Malibu finally went out. Well, the plastic guides in there went out because the chain was all loosened from being old. And the chain was slapping around in there. Cut metal bolt nut heads off and cut through other plastic guides and oil nozzles. And did all kinds of ruckus in there in the front of the engine cover when that guide finally broke. I didn't know if we'd be able to repair it or not, being all the shit it damaged in there. But I was able to do that. That was an interesting mystery box repair, doing the timing chain and the balance chain in the Malibu. The car's a Chevy Malibu, if I never mentioned it before. So when that happened, the car went down. You know, we were without a car because we only had the one running car at the time. My other car, it needs something done, but it was about heading to the junkyard. So when the timing chain failed, with my wife was driving at the time, she started looking for a new car then, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to fix this, you know. But she went out and she got a new car, and I'm kind of glad she did because she got one that we have both been wanting for a while. We've well, I personally and she also, but because of me, I'm a fan of Subarus. I think they have kind of almost top-notch quality. Their engineering and design of their parts and their drive systems and stuff. I think that's all top-notch engineering and quality. And they take more pride in their vehicles and their quality of their vehicles than American companies. The Japanese know how to do it when it comes to engines. Anything that runs on engines, the Japanese know it. Mazda's another good one. I like Japanese motor company. The only Ford that I've ever seen that was actually a good car was I had a 96 Probe, Ford Probe GT. I still have it. There's something wrong. It won't start. I'm going to sell it though because they didn't make many of them. It's a semi rarish car for '96, but you look into that probe there. It was the design of it was mostly Mazda. So it's a Ford branded car, but the engineering and design and everything is Mazda. It's like a Mazda MX-6 or something. And that I love that car. If I had the money, I'd completely restore it, because it was just a fun, good car. And it was because it was based on Mazda engineering. But anyway, so yeah, the wife, she went and she found a used 2015 Subaru Forester Touring, and it was fully loaded. Tinted windows, heated seats, leather seats, big moonroof, automatic hatch open. It came with the crossbar, luggage supports for the top, the cargo nets, all cargo nets, top, sides, back. It has 440 watt Harman Kardon stereo system with the amp under the seat. It sounds like my 10-inch MTX woofer and 400 watt amp I have in the attic that I used to have in my probe. Like, it bumps. It'll rattle the rear view mirror. Keyless start, keyless entry. All you do is just have the key fob in your pocket, reach up to the handle, and it detects your hand and it opens. Push button start. It got everything. It was clean. One owner. They bought it from the dealership, had it serviced at the dealership while they had it, and then traded it into the dealership. And then my wife got it. So it's a really nice car. I'm glad when we have two vehicles now, and a newer, more dependable Subaru quality vehicle. But I ended up I fixed the Malibu. I got new balance chain in there, new timing chain. Replaced pretty much everything in there with new while I was in there. Had to drop the oil pan and clean out plastic bits and crap that got ground up from the chain cut and everything. Then redo the RTV seal on the oil pan. Even got new O-rings on the dipstick tube. All back together, new oil in it, filter. It's running good now, and now that I hear what the engine sounds like, well, with the new chain and everything, previously, prior to this, that I could tell that chain was loose. The whole time we had it, it was making noise, the chain rattling around in there, slapping, because it was all loose. Because high mileage, it's about 160,000 miles on that car. The chain is getting wore out, and in that car specifically, the tensioning on the timing chain and balance chain, a lot of that is dictated by oil pressure. So if you run the car low on oil, it kind of has devastating consequences on your timing chain and your balance chain and stuff like that. So that's just another reason, do not run your vehicles low on oil, because it's not just lubrication that oil is doing. The pressure of it in the system, does a whole lot of stuff. So again, don't be afraid of the mystery boxes. The more you know how to do, the more self-sufficient you're going to be. Not to mention the money you save, but if you had to survive on your own, at least you'll be able to do some stuff. I learned so much doing this timing chain here now. Hell, I had the camshafts out, everything, because if your timing chain goes, there's a possibility you ruin the engine, and you might as well junk it, unless you know how to pull the head off and replace the valves. maybe even pistons, because your timing chain goes. That's what times your pistons going up and down to your valves opening and closing. So if your timing chain goes and they're not timed properly, your pistons will come up and slam into the valves and bend them, smash them. Then you'll, damage your pistons, and there you go, your engine's fucked. Unless you want to go in there and do it or pay someone to, but the price to pay someone, if it's an older used car, you might as well junk it and find a new car. Because I was looking online, and the price to just do a timing chain on my car was ranging to about $1,500, if not more, to have a garage do it. I did it myself for, I think all the parts I got was $230. And that's timing chain, balance chain. The balance chain kit came with all the sprockets. I needed camshaft bolts, crankshaft bolts, new gasket, a couple other miscellaneous bolts and whatnot. Kits come with the guides, so I had an extended amount of things that I put in there. $230 just parts. Did it myself. So be self-sufficient, people. Do not rely on the system. They want you to rely on the system. And that way you're dependent, and you can go into the smart cities then. Daddy government will take care of you, but you're slaves to them for life. Tax cattle, blood cattle, whatever they want to harvest you for, all you are is a crop to them. So go be self-sufficient, go make a homestead, get ready for the upcoming collapse, because it's gonna come. It's coming. I think. Well, actually, I hope, because I would rather go out and live in the woods and homestead than to live in the society that they've created, or the society that they have planned, because where everything is heading is not good. It's not even close to what it is now. It's pretty much full enslavement. I don't want no part of it. I'll go live in the woods. I'll build a cabin out of fucking sticks. Whatever. And I would honestly rather go do that, because I'm just sick of this bullshit society. I'm sick of all this stuff they're pushing on us, this whole diversity nonsense, inclusion, all the freaking LGBTQXYZ apostrophe nonsense, the whole trans kids. Boy, are they coming for our kids' minds, man. And I'm going to do everything I can to keep them out of my kids' minds, but when you have normie family and a normie or semi-normie wife, there's only so much fight you can put up, unless you want to ruin relationships and marriages and whatever. It's a hard fight. So that's pretty much all on the update here. I just want to keep saying that the alt media online, it's more controlled than ever. 100%. Rumble was like taking over the scene. I've already talked about Rumble. Started by good old Peter Thiel. All the grabblers got their hands in it. They took it public, got a huge influx of cash, and they just went out and they bought up all these content creators to come to Rumble. That Revenge of the Sis that I watch, they gave them a contract to be exclusively on Rumble. And they're little piddlings. They had like 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Well, they got a Rumble contract for at least a year. Leave YouTube, come to Rumble. You know how many creators have probably gotten contracts to come to Rumble? Rumble is the new YouTube. There's no different. You know, when Peter Thiel got a big hand in it, and their main people they're pushing is Russell Brand, Dan Bongino. You know, Dan Bongino got his own private office in Rumble's Florida headquarters because Revenge of the Sis has been there twice now. Rumble has a studio there. So any creator on their platform can pop in there and use their studio to stream if they want. So Revenge of the Sis hit them up twice. And while they were there, they were saying, you know, Bongino got his own private office. I'm sure Russell Brand got his own private office somewhere. All bullshit. All this is fucking IIA operations, internet, interactive internet activities. They're controlling everything. It's mainstream media 3.0 now, as I'm calling it. Nothing is genuine. All these alt media characters, Nick Fuentes, and any of them, all of them, they're all fake. They're all faking gay, fake gay bullshit. All they are there is to appease the fringe crowd that's getting sick of the shit that's going on, and they want real truth. Well, you're getting served up truth on a platter for you. The whole internet completely controlled. Google has it on lockdown. There, you don't pretty much you don't see anything on the internet that they don't want you to see or they don't mind you seeing. You're not gonna go on there and get super real truth. Like I said, about the only decent real truth I see is The Last American Vagabond, and he's really trying to expand his operation and get bigger, and he collabs with people I don't care for. So whether he's still genuine, I can't even tell you. He's likely possibly under the thumb. I know old Brendan O'Connell calls T-Lav out for being an IIA shill. So, it's possible. Maybe he is. But he's still the best source of unbiased current news out there. T-Lav and the people he that work with him, that write for him, do stuff, they're okay too. I know Whitney Webb's there and whatnot. I don't care for her much. She's some kind of asset. So, but that's about the best group I found. Anybody else ain't even worth my time and just lowers my IQ. Nick Fuentes, fucking America First, and bull. That's all fucking government run psyop bullshit. If you're dumb enough to follow that shit, and Nick Fuentes, the closet F, yeah, you're freaking dumb. People are so freaking dumb out there. It's just sickening how dumb people are. So hopefully you guys have managed to find the gold pill since I've been gone. You find the gold pill, pop it. You're going to see the world. You're going to see the alt media. You're going to see the internet for what it is. And it's all fake, and it's all there to control you. Everything. So, I think I'm going to end it here, guys. There was really nothing much I wanted to talk about. The only thing that I kind of been getting into that's been new is on Odyssey. There's Truth Hurts. Here, let me share my screen and I'll just show you. There's a channel called Truth Hurts Radio. All one word, and Hertz is spelled like Hertz. And then he has another channel that's called Christendom 2. So like Christendom, but the dumb being D-U-M-B. And I forget his name. Something Giuliani or I forget the guy's name. But he kind of debunks the Bible and gives like real history, real accounts of history of all the research he's done. I seen him from Adam Green, No More News' channel. So I went and started listening to his videos. Here, I'll share my screen and show you. So this is his Christendom 2 on Odyssey, and then this is the Truth Hurts Radio. The Christendom one is more about the Bible and stuff, and the Truth Hurts one is more about history. Well, right there. History upon closer inspection is Charles Giuliani. And Christendom is Christianity Debunked. I really like this guy's work here. He's done a lot of research. He's traveled places, researched a lot of things, and he's recorded a lot of that research into notes and put them together coherently. And a lot of the stuff that he goes over, it really makes sense, and I believe a lot of it to be very truthful. And most of it is in direct contrast to the world view that we've been brainwashed with. It's, if you believe, his version of things, we literally are in a matrix. Like they have built a literal matrix for us, where we are taxing tax cattle and biology cattle to them, living in a matrix for harvest. And our history and everything is 100% bullshit. We don't know our history. We don't know our ancestry. We're kept in the dark and fed a bullshit, creation story. And one of the biggest ways that they manage to do this is through religion. I've always known that mainstream religion was bullshit. I just didn't know the ins and outs of it well. Charles Giuliani there goes over the ins and outs of it. And I personally believe he is spot on with probably 90% of what he goes over, if not 95%. Check it out. Really check it out. Listen to all his debunking the Bible stuff. It just lays it out flat how ridiculous the Bible is and how much bullshit it is. How people cling, it's the literal word of God. It couldn't be farther from the literal word of God. And I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm not sorry to say it. I mean, if you're not smart enough to realize that, I feel bad for you. You're dumb as fuck. And the Truth Hurts channel is a really good one because he goes over, the real history that happened and how a certain people have been controlling things since the very beginning. And that's why they've been kicked out of hundreds and hundreds of countries over the millennia, is because all they do is infiltrate and take control. And then they sacrifice. They make sacrifices of those that are not like them. So then they get kicked out. People kick them out. But then they weasel back in like cockroaches. You just can't exterminate them. Well, they infestated us here in more modern day. And they ain't leaving because they almost got us in stranglehold. So, everyone better wake up to this stuff. Everyone better wake up quick. Because there's a plan in motion for world domination. And that plan, has been being worked towards for a very, very, very long time. And they are almost going to succeed. And the main reason behind the fact that they're going to succeed is religion. The religion that they created. So everything, all this stuff ties hand in hand. Religion was the best thing to control the masses. They created it. It worked. They've been controlling the masses ever since. And now that we're in the modern day, they're able to, actually go for the whole world now. They're likely going to succeed unless we wake the fuck up and realize what's going on. But we're so brainwashed and domesticated and mind controlled that our odds don't look good. So, all right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go start making lunch and taking care of kids. Peace out. I'll try to make more videos here. Being going in the summer, I might be busy, but if I catch something of interest in the alt media or something I need to rant about or expose or try to convey to people about how they're controlling your mind and thoughts through the alt media, the IIA. I'll try to get some videos out here. So sorry I've been gone for so long. It's rough when your health starts failing. So all right, take care, everyone. Peace. Find the gold pill. Please find it quickly. I'm out.